All right, for Number Corner today, you need out your Number Corner book. We're going to be opening to the problem string workspace in the back. You are looking for page A8. So opening to page A8, adding today's date, and getting ready to go. All right, the first problem that we're writing down is, what is 2/3 minus 1/2? Now, in order to do this, you might want to draw out a clock to show it. You might want to think about that ratio table that we talked about. What kind of strategy are you going to use to make sure that you have a common denominator before you subtract? You might want to open up your clock app from the bottom, thinking about what strategy is going to work best for you. So write down the problem, find that common denominator, and solve. All right, so Mrs. Ellison wrote down her problem, 2/3 minus 1/2. I'm going to use my clock model here. Hey, there is my half. There's my 2/3. And here's my half. If I were to subtract off a half from that, what would it look like? Well, I can see that this piece right here is what would get subtracted off. So what I see left is this chunk right there. And then I have to figure out, well, how much of a clock is that? Well, I see that I could break it into 6 equal pieces. So I have 1/6. When I think about rewriting that with a common denominator, well, 2/3 is the same as 4/6. 4/6 minus 3/6 equals 1/6. All right, let's go ahead and try that next problem. What is 5/6 minus 2/3? All right, so let's write down that problem. 5/6 minus 2/3. So I'm going to go ahead and break my clock into those 6 equal pieces. I have 5 of them shaded in. Minus 2/3, make my thirds, shade in 2 of them. I look and see that if I subtract off that 2/3, hey, my 2/3 goes to this spot right here. That's what I'd be subtracting. So this is what is left, right? Here is my, there we go, better line. Here is what is left over. Also, when I think about rewriting those with a common denominator, I think of it as 5/6 because I know that I can use my 2/3 as 6. So 5/6 minus 4/6 equals 1/6. Okay. All right, let's write down that next problem. We have 7/10 minus 1/4. You might be thinking, oh, I don't know if clocks are going to work the best for this, and they might not. But do remember that I can figure out how many minutes would be in each group if I broke that hour into 10. Also, I could use my money to help me figure it out, or that double number line, or that ratio table. So go ahead and work it out. All right, so I wrote down 7/10 minus 1/4. Hey, I know that if I work with money, 7/10 is the same as 70 hundredths. How many pennies that is? If I had 1/4 of a dollar, I'd have 25 hundredths. So I can go ahead and subtract that off and end up with 50 hundredths. Yeah. No. 45 hundredths. There we go, Mrs. Ellison. Come on. 45 hundredths. All right. Let's go ahead and write down our next problem. That is 19/20 minus 1/5. 19/20 minus 1/5. All right. When I have my problem written down, 19/20 minus 1/5, I notice that 5, if I count by 5s, I count 20. So I want to think about that ratio table. Here is my 1/5. I know that's the same as 2/10, 3/15, 4/20. Hey, I have that common denominator. So I'm just going to rewrite this as 19/20 minus 4/5. So 19 minus 4 is 15. So I have 15/20. Okay. And that final problem for our problem string today, what is 5/6 minus 3/4? Go ahead, let's write that down. 5/6 minus 3/4. All right, I'm going to use my clocks again for this because, hey, here are my 6, and I have 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 3/4. 1, 2, 3, right? If I am subtracting that, I see that this line here comes right out to here. Here is my 3/4. If I subtract that off, I'm left with one of those sections right here. And I know that each one of those sections is a 12th, right? So if I'm rewriting this with equivalent fractions, I might say, well, how many 12ths is 5/6? Well, 5, 6, my minute hand would be here at the 10. So I could say that it is 10/12 would be an equivalent fraction. And then my 3/4, hey, it's at that 9. So I know that's the 9/12 equals 1/12. Awesome. Hopefully today's numbers problem string was a little bit easier for you. You're getting more familiar with how do I think about those fractions? How do I rewrite them with a common denominator so that I can add or subtract?